Good afternoon. It is the 20th of September. I'm joined by Dr. Keith McGee, our Deputy Superintendent. We thought it was really good timing right now to give you just another update on Little Rock schools, in particular, everything we're doing to try to make sure that we have a safe learning environment for our students. I know right now you're pretty excited and kind of proud of an ESSER expenditure that we just made to make classrooms a better place.
Yes, we invested in the air purifiers, and the air purifiers are there to all of the classroom. I'm super excited because all of our classroom now have an air purifier in there. And be mindful that the air purifier is simply going to purify the air, and then it's also going to make sure that it's cleaned by ionization of the air. So that is what the hospitals use to clean and kill the bacteria, the COVID-19. So we're super excited about that.
Kind of a two-part thing then, you know, it's filtering the air, but then it's also proactively dealing with things that are the virus droplets.
That's correct. And now that we got all the classroom, we're ready to move to the next phase in terms of looking at the media centers and the other areas of the schools.
Nurse's office, administration.
Administration.
You bet. So that investment was about how much money?
About $2 million.
$2 million. And right behind it, went our community know that we have 9 buildings that we've targeted, also out of ESSER Funds, to do even a deeper HVAC system approach that are kind of our worst buildings in terms of air quality. And we're working on that right now out of ESSER Funds too. We've had really good support with masks. We know that our commitment was to have our board revisit this in October, so we're bringing this back. And you've met with the Ready for Learn team. What do they say about masks and what we should do moving forward?
Well, right now we just kind of continue looking at the data, looking at our COVID-19 cases, the numbers inside the Little Rock School District, in our buildings, and number of students quarantined and the positives. And we know that the data is very low. We met last Tuesday, and we're going to meet the first Tuesday in October, to come back with some recommendations. We know that we're seeing a lot of our secondary kids are complying with masks. Elementary still has some more challenges to work, but we're seeing that they're striving.
Well, and I think that the compliance piece is really a tribute to our parents, our students, and our staff. This is a community that takes this very serious. We've had good mask compliance, and I think it's helped us on limiting quarantines and even limiting positives. Our board will revisit this on our meeting in October at the agenda meeting, and give us some direction of what they want to do. I guess they could even make it an action item that day, but it could even be an action later in the month. In the meantime, we're going to carry on this. We are going to continue to meet with the medical task force. I believe they think this is the right course of action. We know that vaccines for younger people is probably right around the corner, and that's exciting to think about too. We also know that the state is looking at an RFP that just went out last week to look at testing, student testing, so that a family could get a student tested during the week just to see if they're positive or negative. That also will help us create even a safer environment. So those were all really good things. I think the other thing that came out of the Ready for Learn meeting is just kind of talking about some of the day-to-day interactions. Field trips, is it okay to do a field trip?
It's perfectly okay. We want all of our schools to know that you can do field trips. We ask that you do field trips limited in city only. Outside out of town field trips are not available right now. We'll continue to look at that, and we'll let the public know when we're ready to go back to out of town.
Sure. We also know that out-of-state travel is possible, and all those things come through the superintendent office to approve. So we're always looking at that to determine whether it's the right course of action that we need to take. I think that the other piece that we want to just talk about right now in terms of where we're at is just the reality that we know there's a lot of really big fall activities that happen every year that are homecoming activities. And so the Ready for Learn team met. Their advice, from what I gathered, was avoid large indoor events, but if we can do things that are fun and outdoors, those are good things. So I think our high schools are going to come up with activities with you and Mr. Rutherford and the principals that will let them celebrate homecoming, but we may not have the homecoming dance.
That's correct. We want to encourage them to be outside where it's more open space, where it's fresh air, and so just not indoors. But one of the things we failed to kind of mention is student incentives. The Ready for Learning Committee did a very good job talking about not just the homecoming, but that's going to be forthcoming, trying to encourage all of those who are eligible for vaccination to get an incentive. That incentive is going to be more of a gift card and a big drawing. a big drawing.
It's as if they've gotten vaccinated.
If they get vaccination, they can show proof of their vaccination. Even a big drawing could be up to $500. So
really, that committee last week kind of pushed us along in two different ways. One, moving forward on incentives for vaccination with students. And that would really even go back to students that got vaccinated in the spring last year.
Correct.
But then we also talked about, what we do with these big school activities that happen in the fall. There can be carnivals, there could be things that are indoor. If they're indoor activities, we're talking about limiting those. That would include homecoming dance, outdoor activities, letting the principals develop those within their school.
Develop the plan and just kind of get it approved.
Okay. As we wrap up today, I want to thank everybody for the efforts that you've made to have us have a start that's successful. Our numbers compared to other school districts of any size are very favorable. We're never in the top 5, and that's really because I think everyone's very intentional about doing the right thing, from everything from masks to now the efforts that we've made as a district with Purifiers, and then also just using common sense to make sure that we do the right things to protect students and staff. Going to keep that up because there are people that are actually, we have a lot of people that are still getting very sick. We have 3 members last week of our own staff that we were identified as saying that they've gone on to have some really serious health consequences that they're dealing with last week and probably into this week. So, we want to be mindful, do the right things, and we appreciate all the support. We hope everyone has a great week.
Have a great day.